Welcome to the Fearfic Podcast. Fearfic is the term for short horror fiction, mostly posted on the web. It includes any and all related subgenres. Join three assholes talking basement goo Slimebeast, inebriated interstellar traveler Abysmii, and irritable ghostly man-whore Dead Palette, as they read all stories horror and internet-related, paragraph by paragraph, and bullshit while they do it. From adolescent revenge fantasies to subtle postmodern narratives about real-life events and everything in between, they read it and critique. You better believe it. Kick it to the cold open, white boy.
Turn off your air conditioner, sit down, strap yourself in, buckle up, get your gear out. It's time for the FEARFIC Podcast. Starring Abysmii, Dead Palette, and Orlando Jones.
As Orlando Jones.
In Orlando Jones, the movie. Return of Orlando Jones.
Number 2, Orlando Bloom.
In being Orlando Jones.
God damn it. Whatever happened to Orlando Jones?
I don't even know who that is.
Oh.
Is he anything like John Malkovich?
He's Orlando Bloom's brother.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've seen him in anything.
Is he black?
Uh-huh.
That's what I thought.
He was in Mad TV a lot.
Was he? Was it? Wait.
Orlando Bloom we're talking about?
No, Orlando Jones. Orlando Bloom.
Trying to think of who he played. What characters did he do in Mad TV?
I don't remember their names.
You remember Fracas Frank?
No.
Curly Top?
No.
Danger Dave Duggan?
Vaguely that, yes.
Slickfoot?
No.
Scrub Jay?
Do you remember Honey Dipper Dan?
Yes, clearly.
Honey Dipper Dan.
All right, so what are we doing? What do we got?
Connor.
Huh? Connor? Sarah Connor?
Connor
McGregor.
Oh.
Khabib Nurmagomedov. Wow. So, for all the people who are listening to this was recorded way in the past when this was news, but it doesn't matter because I'm sure that most of the people listening to this don't watch MMA. But Jesus Christ, did you hear what happened?
I saw the video of it, at least the crux of the whole thing, but yeah. Abysmii has no idea.
No. I keep hearing about it. It's interesting.
I don't
watch MMA. I don't watch MMA or sports, but around the office I will always hear that fight, right? Holy shit, yeah. And I have no idea what happens.
Abysmii's been drawing sexy venom, so he's been out of the loop, but yeah.
Well, this fight was quite a showstopper. So, Khabib Nurmagomedov had a 26-0 record and was fighting Connor McGregor, who was the poster boy of the sport. Both very different people. Connor McGregor, giant alcoholic Irishman. Khabib, devout Muslim, doesn't drink alcohol, wants to just play the sport as the sport, doesn't shit talk and all of that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The fight actually happens. Khabib clips Connor McGregor, gets him down, chokes him out, and then after that, Khabib, I shit you not, jumps over the cage and starts fighting Connor's trainers. And then trainers jump into the cage from Khabib's side, and Connor starts fighting them.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and the craziest part is Ronda Rousey shows up out of the crowd and throws a folding chair to Conor McGregor. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then she just picks up and hits Conor McGregor with a Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah. And then the Undertaker comes out, throws them both off of Hell in a Cell.
And then Ronda Rousey calls out Miesha Tate, and Miesha Tate comes out, and she's just like, I can't fight you right now because I'm pregnant. And then it turns out that Khabib Nurmagomedov was cheating on his wife and got Miesha Tate pregnant.
Damn. And then Ronda Rousey gets drowsy. The end.
And then Dr. Phil comes out and says, all right, everybody, all right. Now this is about stupid.
He takes out a mug, from his set, and he looks like he's going to take a drink for a second, but then, surprise, he bashes it over Conor McGregor's head. Who knew? Dr. Phil's in on it. Oh, man.
I just have an image of a ripped Dr. Phil now, like a guy in a very poor Dr. Phil costume.
Are there any MMA fighters out there, mixed martial arts fighters, who are balding?
Probably.
There's gotta.
Yeah.
Probably they just have like buzz cuts, so you can't like super tell.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be. That's what I would do.
What would Dr. Phil's moves be called if he was a professional wrestler?
The
intervention.
Oh. Doctor Interventionist Phil.
Now I heard that all of y'all been rooting against me, and I keep winning every match. So how's that working for you? But yeah.
I got some DNA evidence that shows you're a bitch.
What if Dr. Phil
does he do
versus
DNA evidence?
I don't know.
Probably. I'm sure he has at some point. Dr. Phil versus Maury Povich. That would be a match I'd see.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Man, this is reminding me of Celebrity Deathmatch.
Yeah, I was about to
that's
say.
what this is. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
This bit has been done before, and that's when
it's a good bit.
Next on Celebrity Deathmatch, Marilyn Manson versus someone again. I don't know. Just seemed like it was always Marilyn Manson that they showed.
It was. He was available.
Yeah, it's true.
He wasn't doing anything.
He wasn't doing anything besides being wildly popular.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man.
And then Saturn came out.
Yeah.
The god Saturn.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the god Saturn does. He was the guy with the chariot, right?
He's the one with the rings. He wears rings everywhere.
Okay. He's the one with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yes.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yes.
Oh man, could you imagine in the next Wonder Woman movie the Greek gods doing the Infinity Gauntlet saga?
But like a very poor imitation of it because DC doesn't know what it's doing.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't want to stray too far off topic, but the next Wonder Woman movie, I mean, the main villain is what's her face? Kristen Wiig, is it? No. What's the other one? Shit. Wonder Woman 2 villain. It is Kristen Wiig. Okay, I was right. Did the call drop, or are you just all shocked?
No, we're all shocked. Oh my god, he was right. It was totally Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig is Cheetah. Perfect casting.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That is. Okay, that's weird.
Isn't Cheetah supposed to be like black?
Depends on the iteration. In some, she's like South American.
Oh man, we're going to see Kristen Wiig in some sick blackface.
Jesus Christ!
This is the problem with like introducing your origin story, and then fighting like a literal god, and then you go to your like kind of off and on main rival who isn't a god, so the stakes are really low.
Well, I do have some insider information through my connections to the comic book world. They are actually finally going to introduce Darkseid in Wonder Woman 2, like at the end, like a teaser thing. Played by Melissa McCarthy. With a gauntlet of Infinity Stones for some reason. I don't know.
Well, they wouldn't be Infinity Stones. They would be Ouroboros Stones or something.
They would be
something that means infinity but isn't.
Just a gauntlet of Green Lantern rings.
All just different lantern rings, different colors.
Somebody out there, don't draw fan art of that. Actually pitch that to DC. Go to rewrite the entire Infinity War, but without telling them, and just make it like someone who's collecting all different Green Lantern rings to wear on one hand. See if you can pass it by him. But yeah.
What's Green Lantern? That thing that was wildly unsuccessful. Yeah. Oh, no.
Let's not do that.
But imagine if Tom Cruise. Oh, okay.
Tom Cruise would make a good Green Lantern.
Yeah, that's true. That is actually true, which is the crazy thing about it.
But it would be the Black Green Lantern.
God damn it. I think they should cast Jon Stewart as Jon Stewart. Get it over with.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go.
I'm not sure I'm supposed to be here, but anyway. So Saturn. Why were you mentioning Saturn? Does it have something to do with
Solomon? That is an R, not R Solomon. Though he is R Solomon.
He's
wrote,
always with us.
yes, he's always with us. Wrote a story entitled Saturn on the toospooky.com. That is TOOspooky.com.
That's right. Spelled with all
And-
letters.
Yes.
The cool way.
And he wrote a story entitled Saturn under the critique section. So we are going to critique this shit.
Yep. We're gonna critique the shit out of it. We're not gonna be like Solomon either. We're not gonna be fair. We're splitting this baby right down the middle. We're not even asking.
No.
Yeah. All right. So DP, as ceremony would dictate, you would read first.
He, over here, huffed the aging janitor, and thankfully, the son of a gun hasn't moved a twitch.
He has started streaming on Twitch though.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these don't have regular paragraph breaks.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
so-
just feel it out, I guess.
Yeah, okay. The janitor beckoned the expert towards the cold, dead corpse. Mason sighed. Oh my God! is it
Mustard
Mr.
Mason. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Excellent. Second installment.
we're back in there.
I'm down for this. I know Saturn probably didn't intend it like that, but or Solomon rather, but I'm down for this.
Well, there's Mustard Mason, and then we also have an aging janitor. So that means, this
Maynard mayonnaise.
this is part of the Haververse, man.
That's
Yeah.
right. He killed him. That sociopath really killed him, Mason thought, climbing down the ladder onto the facility floor. He slipped in his own mustard. No. He always thought a janitor in a waste treatment plant was redundant, and always felt unsettled by him during those long nights when there were only 2 workers in the facility. So we're in a waste treatment plant.
Okay.
And so, and he's dealing with, I guess, waste management
Yeah.
lawyering.
Well, I can see where this is going. This is a fan
The story of a girl.
Yep, it's the story of a girl. It's a fan story of Mustard Mason meets Bubba shit.
Mhm.
Because it's in a waste treatment plant.
Mm-hmm.
The body before them was limp and stretched out in an exaggerated position across the floor. Its arms were flayed out past its head, and its 4 spindly, spider-like legs crossed together in strange and unnatural angles.
Uh-oh. Somebody killed Mackham.
Huh.
Who's Mackham?
I don't know if it's aired yet, but our second OC that we reviewed.
Oh yeah.
Deep cut.
Yeah.
Deeper than a chest vagina.
Guys, I was drunk during those, and I can't be asked to remember.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
I wasn't. I was sober.
But I don't believe you. You found him like this? Mason asked, hopping and praying. The scrag hoping. Jesus Christ.
He was one of the ancient hopping monks.
You all right there, Brandon?
I'm not drunk. I'm getting sick, I think, so I'm avoiding any drink right now. But oof. All right, Mason asked, hoping and praying. The scraggly man standing next to him had no involvement.
Nope, he said, almost proud of himself. I shot him dead.
Mason gazed into his eyes with horror and disgust.
What? Why? Jesus Christ, man! You could have told him the shutdown command.
Ooh. So
Jesus Christ, that kills people.
the Romans have to pay, and that payment is baby hands.
The Romans have to pay, and that payment is Philistines' foreskins.
I have to pay, and that payment is my life. Goodbye. Let's see. So we have a shutdown command, so that means the spider-legged thing is some sort of created thing in a waste treatment plant?
Probably.
The janitor held up his hands in a gesture that... that's not me. Gesture. That usually was meant to soothe wild animals.
I did not hit him. I did not. I did. No need to make a ruckus. The son of a gun kept running, and I thought he was going to break something, so I gave him a zap. Zap. Yeah. Again, Mason despised the proud look on his face.
Well, did you consider the chance that you might have broke something? Said Mason, now painfully aware of the stun pistol holstered to his belt. painfully aware of the stun pistol. But okay.
So, since the story is called Saturn, is this taking place on Saturn? Like in the future?
Maybe.
Maybe the entire planet of Saturn is a waste treatment planet. The 066 stun pistol was considered a marvel in security technology, able to shoot a quick charged bolt of conductive gas that could disorient organics and overload robotics up to 50 meters away. On the downside, it had an infamous tendency to break machinery. Yeah, I mean, if it overloads robots, you would think.
Yeah.
Break machinery.
You put your 5 box tops in, and you get your Bubba Shit's 066 stun pistol.
Zap. Misfires could destroy machine components from its sheer overload of power. It didn't matter too much if they were properly insulated, as the charged ball of gas, that's my nickname in high school, seeped through their vents and crevices, as I did. It paralyzed intruders as much as it fried circuits, and Mason knew this was most likely the case right here.
All right, so that's a pretty cool concept. So this is pretty well affirming that this is in the future, and this probably is indeed on Saturn.
Well, it would have to be like a space station orbiting Saturn, because Saturn's a gas giant.
Yeah, that's right.
It fires a gas ball on the gas planet. Everything ignites. They all die. But it's lucky. Okay.
Would that happen? Like, could you ignite stuff? And what kind of gas is Saturn made of?
Multiple types, just like Jupiter. I don't think any gas giant's like one type of gas. It's usually, and it changes how deep you go into the planet as well. So,
okay, well, my headcanon is that they built a steel. They terraformed a gaseous planet. That's my headcanon.
All right.
Maybe they turned it from a gas to a liquid to a solid. Who knows?
To a non-Newtonian liquid. As an engineer, Mason personified these quirky machines. Even though they were programmed for work and work only, he liked to pretend he was their doctor, and they appreciated his work. He liked to pretend that he was their lawyer. I thought the thought of this janitor needlessly destroying one of these machines was heartbreaking.
Oh.
So Saturn's a machine.
Well, no, the spindly leg guy is a machine.
Yeah,
leggy boy.
He's personifying it. I bet you that. Yeah. Okay. Trust me, I didn't fry any circuits. I even checked, pried this bad boy open, and I really think you should see for yourself.
Here we go. The machine before them was a Mark IV Saturn.
Which is also the name of a rocket, I think. Saturn rocket, Saturn V rocket. Anyway.
It's a car. It's a future car. In the future, all cars are spindly four-legged people.
That's what I tell the kids. I tell them that in Scotland they don't have cars. That when you're 16, you get your sheep license.
That's the future liberals want.
Yeah, and to drive on a sheep, you have to show that you have knowledge of sheep, and that includes knowing the sheep limit and also having proper maintenance of your sheep and shearing them correctly.
So what you're saying is that you're teaching the future leaders of our country incorrect information about how the world works. Okay.
Yep.
I'm just picturing, many years from now, President Smith shook hands with the leader of Scotland today, asking if he arrived on sheep.
Where the sheep at, though? Where the white sheep at?
Yeah. The best of their kind. So the Mark IV Saturn is the best of its kind. As all-purpose humanoid robots, their primary purpose was to be used in place of people if the job posed a significant danger or strain. With 360-degree fishbowl-shaped head... With 360-degree fishbowl-shaped head between its shoulders, it's Mysterio, a human-like torso that could swivel on a dime, and 4 spindly legs, they were much more situationally aware than your average hard hat.
Clearly in the near future, but very relatable, because robots are being made to replace humans in both dangerous and just mundane work that they'd be better suited to. So this is all, I like it so far.
And why not spider-like robots that can walk on the ceiling to deliver your McDonald's Happy Meal?
Absolutely.
Here you go.
Oh, that's a great idea. Is just like you could fuck with people that way. There's gonna need to be like fail safes for that, where it's like you just wake up in the middle of the night and there's a giant robot person on the ceiling with its 4 spindly legs and a giant ball head, and its ball just opens up and drops a sack of McDonald's onto your bed, waking you up.
God damn it.
Here's your Amazon order. Ah!
You could just prank people, just buy it online and just send people McDonald's to wake them up at night.
That would be really, in the future when robots are delivering everything, it would have like special instructions, and it would say, don't knock, bust down door, charge in screaming.
Sneak in through the back window.
Electrocute recipient with an 066 stun pistol.
Burst into my house, subdue me, take over my life, pretend to be me. Pick up my kids from school.
Break into my house, subdue me, tie me up, tickle my feet with a feather, slap my ass with a cattail.
God damn it.
The Saturns dealt with the most dangerous waste in the facility and often took the place of workers during the late hours of the night to keep up productivity. Mason, while he didn't want to admit it, wished he could have had a Saturn take his place right now. He was far too tired for the situation. So
Too old for this shit.
Yeah, you're right. This is near future because it hasn't completely replaced mundane jobs. It just replaces some mundane jobs. It's like supplementary.
Yeah.
Now, are we sure that our main character is not just an older model of robot?
That would be the typical twist. I guess we'll see. Yeah. The janitor bent over
and
to
angry.
Bent over to pry open the Saturn's chest plate, but Mason stopped him.
Please, let me do this, he said.
Don't ruin this for me.
Don't ruin this. Hey, come on now. I didn't come all the way to Saturn. Just have some janitor prying open my robots.
I had to pay Elon Musk to hop on SpaceX.
I had incriminating photos of Elon Musk. Let me just tell you, the man thinks that sheep are the way of the future. But yeah.
That is the question. If you were riding around a cow, for instance, what would put out more like carbon emissions, the cow's farts or the car?
Depends on the car.
Depends on the cow.
And that too.
God damn it. Is that a Sargon of Akkad quote? Well, it depends on the cow, doesn't it? Yeah.
Oh, man.
But I think 1 to 1...
Depends on the...
God. No. I think 1 to 1, the car would beat out the cow, but it's just that there are so many fucking cows that they beat out cars, on numbers and farts. But yeah.
Oh man, where's my money? We should clarify. This is apparently not on Saturn.
That's
true.
We're
going to continue to act like it is for the gag.
Mm-hmm.
Hate to be a Debbie Downer. I just don't want anyone to think that we're that dumb.
If it took place on Saturn, how quickly would everybody get sick of the joke? Just give me a ring if you need anything.
You just like go to the airport and there that every cafeteria shop there just has onion rings called Saturn's ring.
Yeah.
Oh, I had good onion rings yesterday. Those were good onion rings. Anyway, you've done enough damage tonight, he wanted to say, but didn't.
When he pried open the door... Whoops. Wow. When he pried open the poor thing's chest, he wished he'd let the janitor do so.
Jesus fucking Christ, he shouted, scrambling away from the automaton.
I told you so, the janitor said smugly.
What the fuck do you mean? You didn't tell me shit.
I told you I didn't fry any circuits. I'm sure you understand now.
Mason understood well enough, but that didn't stop his disgust. How could that man try to be humorous now? He wanted to throw up. He peered right into his aging eyes, trying and failing to read him like he did before. But then he swiveled back to the Saturn's chest cavity and just stared.
So I'm guessing that the janitor took a dump in there?
I'm guessing it's got like human organs or something.
He swiveled back to Saturn's chest and angry.
God damn it.
It's okay. It took me a good while to comprehend. The boys in suits are going to throw a shit show tomorrow once they hear about this.
So he did shit in it. Mason pulled himself closer to the chest cavity, disappearing inside. No, to the chest cavity, gripping along its metal sides for support. He almost touched one of the many pink organs that sat inside the Saturn's chest. Without even thinking, he spoke up.
Did you do this?
What? Systematically harvest and preserve organs in a hollowed-out company robot serving as a really shitty refrigerator? The janitor replied, expecting him to come up with that accusation beforehand.
Mason realized his accusation sounded silly. Well, not if you see it right there. Especially, I'm not critiquing the story, I'm just sort of thinking. Especially since the janitor was the guy to show him. He finally peered at the name tag clipped to the old man's gray suit.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dandy. I didn't mean to imply.
God damn it. I was hoping you were going to misread that as Daddy. I'm sorry, Mr. Daddy.
Call me Andrew, Daddy.
I'm sorry, Mr. J.
God damn
it. Just call me Andrew, and it's all right. Boy, you should have seen me when I pried open the son of a gun first. Nearly upchucked my dinner and then some. Spent a good 30 minutes or just so looking at it, wondering if I should destroy him or not.
The janitor, or Andrew, as Mason was trying to make a mental note to call him, took a deep breath and sighed.
And while I was staring at the corpse of our Saturn friend here, I started noticing something very particular, and I bet you have as well.
Peculiar.
Mason indeed didn't have any idea what he was implying, but he forced himself to peer at its pink innards as much as this detested him. Maybe he is a robot, or maybe he just isn't used to seeing entrails and shit. I don't know.
Maybe the robots became the humans, and the humans became the robots.
Wait a minute. Is the janitor purple guy? Game theory.
Inevitably, he saw it. It was more than just a clump of entrails stuffed inside a machine. They were all connected inside without any incisions or gashes, as if they were all grown from the same body. While it didn't have any ribs or bones, he could see wires and chips occasionally through the mess of innards, parts that seamlessly connected to the organ system as a whole. He felt confident in his conclusion, despite it not making any sense.
These things grew inside it, Mason muttered, disgusted with himself for coming to that conclusion. The janitor agreed and began to state his own operations. But Mason did not require the extra help. Just reading that again to make sure I read that right.
He did. I think I know what it means, but it is strange.
His own opinions, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
These organs...
This just needs a little bit of proofing. Mm-hmm. I'm on board with the story so far, but it does need... language is a little clunky here.
You remember the broken McDonald's ice cream machine?
Yeah.
Where that was weird, but we kind of weren't that into it. This is weird, but it's it keeps you into it. You're kind of...
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These organs certainly resembled that of a human's, but with some key differences. The lungs were surprisingly large, and would have to push the rest of the organs inward to pull a full breath in. The organ that should have been its heart was significantly tiny. It's the Grinch. If the human heart was the size of a rat, this heart was hardly the size of a mouse.
Interesting.
Tiny heart, big lungs.
And that's what I think killed him, spoke the janitor. Mason returned from his inner thoughts back to reality.
His poor heart couldn't handle a shock like that.
The janitor continued with his observations. Okay, so that's what it was before. Observations. But Mason interrupted him.
Huh?
Nope.
Oh. Why don't you come with me?
Nope.
What?
Why did you come to me?
Why did you come to me?
Huh?
I did it. Huh?
Huh? Monorail. What's the reference?
Monorail.
I love Skype's auto responses. I love how it says it suggests that you say monorail with an exclamation point, It suggests that you reply to Monorail with "What's the reference?" and it suggests that you reply to that with Archer. Like, okay.
Yeah.
For people that don't know, it's a reference to Simpsons, not Archer.
Exactly. But Skype doesn't know that for some reason.
It has to be people just like seeing that there is an algorithm in play and then deliberately trying to fuck with it.
And it's working because
it's working
stupider
really
by
well.
the fucking month.
I said, "Why did you come to me? What made you think I was the kind of guy who could deal with this kind of crap?" The janitor.
And then the auto response from Skype is Monorail.
The janitor gave him a fairly good answer.
Because you're the only other human up at this hour, other than all the other Saturns fumbling about.
Mason became uncomfortably aware of all the clicks and clacks of the many thin, spindly legs that roamed the facility. Normally, this was just background noise that he could ignore. It made him even more uncomfortable knowing that their heads could see in any direction, no matter where they were facing. He wondered if those domed heads would have massive eyes or brains inside if he pried them open. There were many more Saturns out there than there were when he first walked in. Okay. It's a little bit of paranoia kicking in.
Now this is me?
Yep.
We should mention that this formatting is getting to be a pain in the ass.
Yes, it is.
It may have been written like in a word processing program and then pasted in. Yeah.
That's my
you
feeling.
always gotta always proof after the fact.
Always prove everything you claim. "I don't feel safe," he said bluntly. His eyes quickly darted towards the magnetically holstered gun on the janitor's belt.
Andrew, where do I get one of those?
I have a gun because I'm trained to know what to do with intruders. The only others with 066s are
Saturns!
bomb bomb bomb.
They all have guns.
Oh shit.
So do all of these Saturns have organs in them, or is it just this guy?
I think it's... Oh, go ahead.
We're meant to believe it's just this one, or our protag believes that they're not originally designed to have organs in them because he's the expert. That's what was stated in the beginning. So it's like, well, he is the engineer. So to his knowledge, this is the only one.
Okay.
And you wonder if there are more. Like, there possibly could be. So it's like, which ones? Which robots contain the human organs? Find out now.
Is it 1, 2, or 3? Call in now with hashtag robot organs.
Howie Mandel hosts Robot Organ Deal or No Deal. Pick a robot, it opens its chest, and guts fall out and it dies, I guess. I don't know.
that rhymed.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Mason regretted that Saturns could only do so many jobs, even basic security. Mason silently gestured him towards an empty office towards the east side of the room. Shouldn't be towards 2 times in the same sentence. Yeah. Both of them swiftly entered, and Mason locked the door. He knew the auditory systems of the robots were particularly good, so there was a chance a hollow aluminum door couldn't block out everything they were saying. But he craved a sense of security, any sense of security he could get. So there is that paranoia of the robots are coming to kill us. Which they are, which is why it's okay to be a robo-racist.
Wait, did Abysmii just interject with jizz? Is that what you just said?
I started saying it's, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting
nice
that...
Save.
Sorry, what?
Nice save.
Oh, yeah. So he's an engineer, and he's very quickly turning very paranoid. I don't think an engineer would really act like this. I think the engineer would say, all right, well, we definitely need to do a recall or a shutdown and a diagnostic on all the current ones that are active. You know, that would be the normal reaction, not, oh God, they all have organs inside of them and they're out to get us, which it's not a bad development. Like I feel that the janitor should be getting paranoid and Mason should be the one trying to calm him down. So it feels a little bit switched.
I mean, if you put yourself in their position, you know, in a future where these robots are commonplace, just put yourself in the position of when you buy a new toaster, or I don't know, maybe you go to use your current toaster that you've had for years, and it malfunctions.
If you like your toaster, you can keep your
That's
toaster.
Right. Your toaster isn't working; it's on the fritz. But you're kind of handy, so you open the casing, and inside you find organs. Like human organs, all connected. Inside the toaster.
Mhm.
I mean, like your first thought wouldn't be, I'm super terrified and scared. How did my toaster grow organs? You probably would think, holy
Someone's playing
shit,
a
who's
prank
been in
on
my
you?
house? How did
Yeah.
they do this? Why did they do this? What the fuck?
And if the thing also, let's just for some reason this toaster had a gun, I wouldn't immediately jump to, well, now the toaster's going to kill me. The toaster has organs, it's trying to kill me.
Right. Because, I mean, he does ask the janitor, did you do this? And he says no. But I would think the thought
Yeah.
would still be, someone has to have done this because machines don't grow organs, so.
Unless they are in a waste treatment plant, is something like growing within the robot and somehow it can incubate like life or
Human?
something. I don't know.
Human-looking organs?
I don't know.
Somebody-
This is a sci-fi story, so it can go weird.
Somebody flushed, and the toilet suction was a little too good. Their organs came out, went to the waste treatment plant.
Yeah, tonight our top story. Just 5 years after Toyota had a issue with its brakes and needed to recall, Toyota is again recalling all Toyota Celicas as they are starting to grow organs in their.
That would be a good SCP.
Pixar's Cars 4. The beginning.
It's a
I
robot.
don't feel so good.
Oh, God. Now
It's a robot.
I'm picturing I don't feel so good and the tow truck from Cars disappearing. Like, I don't feel so good, Mr. McQueen.
Consume Prilosec.
Probably. That's if there's a Cars video game, I hope that the Tomater has like a skin that's a giant Prilosec advertisement.
Prilosec skin. Inside, the two debated methods of escape. The most important thing was to figure out which Saturns had organs and which didn't. They both examined the facts. The shutdown command would indeed cause the unaffected Saturns to drop in their spots, but their more organic counterparts could easily feign a shutdown if they had the ability to learn. This is jumping to a lot of conclusions. The other option was shooting any Saturn that got too close. This is doing a lot of telling and not showing.
I think this would be easier to swallow, like a Prilosec pill, if the first Saturn that had been killed was trying to attack the janitor.
Yeah.
Because
it was
then
trying
you
to
would say,
escape.
okay, yeah, they have to escape because they could be violent. But
And they've mentioned the shutdown command twice now, and now they don't want to do it because some might feign being shut down. Which, how did we get to that? Like that's assuming that the organs are also like, because they said it was a composite of organs, but also microchips and circuitry.
Right.
But that would imply that if half of your system's shut down, you probably can't operate. So what are they worried about?
I think what they should do is, there probably is a phone in the office. They should order pizza and see which Saturns perk up when it arrives. Then they'll know which
Order
ones have
pizza
organs.
and beer from Uber Eats.
See which Saturns go, ooh, pizza, oh, shit.
And it's delivered by another Saturn robot, and they all just like jump them.
God damn it.
What you do is get a Saturn robot to deliver another Saturn robot.
Ooh.
Also, the story is entitled Saturn and not Saturns.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There aren't enough charges or gas cartridges to defend us if we get rushed. But you don't know how many there are, so maybe there are. 2 066s would be cutting it close, let alone one.
Then it's settled. We need better weapons.
Oh, they just pulled an Alien versus Predator Requiem. People are dying. We need guns.
Yeah.
Mason peered out the plexiglass window. Normally, Saturns didn't idle. They were linked to a network that would immediately direct them to their next task. The Saturns out there, however, just stood in place. Some of them paced, some carried around tools and boxes, but they were doing nothing.
They have replaced humans in full.
Oh my god,
They
what
tried
scared
to-
him?
They tried to look busy, but it was clear they weren't really working.
What scared him more were these Saturns he couldn't see. Just a floor above on the work platform, he could have sworn he heard the telltale clicks of their scuttling legs. Neither had seen any proof of aggression, but both felt trapped. Mason peered further out the window, noticing a similar room parallel to theirs. It almost feels like these characters are not aware of the building they work in, despite that they work in it. It's just like they're very unfamiliar with everything.
Well, Mr. Janitor, let's go out and bring back all the presents for the Saturns. Let's just walk out. They would let you go because they'd be like, "Ooh, let's see what they bring back."
Hope it's organs.
Organs again.
I'm getting a spleen today.
Listen, I have a plan. It's a stupid plan, but you can keep your healthcare plan. It's a stupid plan, but I am too goddamn tired to come up with anything else.
Oh, man. I want the president or the speaker of the House or anybody just say that exact line. And it would be the most honest thing ever said in politics. I'm too goddamn tired to come up with anything else. Okay. That sounds very
good. Fair enough.
Reasonable.
I'm listening.
Well, there's a chance you won't be after I say this. On the count of 3, I need to open this door and sprint to that room while trying to draw any attention you can. I need to open this... Okay. Yeah, I get what he's saying again, but it's poorly worded.
I think it's like, I need to open this door, second
Sprint.
thought, and sprint to that room while you do, that type of thing.
Yeah, I'm going to sprint to that room. I need you to distract them, like wave your hands and yell stuff so they don't see me running. I think that's what he means. Mason was expecting the janitor to protest, but he didn't.
He put down his handmade sign. Go on, he said, legitimately interested.
Okay, do you have any access to the armory?
So
why does a waste treatment plant have an armory?
I don't know.
This is America.
This is Saturn.
I guess. What would you be? Saturnian American? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Sure, but my card ain't gonna open the locks on the cases. Probably gonna have to brute force them open.
Shit. Okay, I want you to run to that room and draw their attention. Keep your on gun ready to fire at anything that moves an inch too close. Keep your on gun. I guess the on should just be deleted.
Yeah.
Keep your gun ready. Then lock yourself in. I am going to leave a little bit after you exit and try the armory. If the robots are causing you trouble. If the robots are causing you trouble. Okay. I blow their little hearts out with whatever I can find. Does that sound like a plan? DP, have you ever blown the little heart out of a Saturn?
Plead the fifth. I guess we have a plan, he replied. Mason couldn't stand the optimism in his voice. He realized he was throwing the senior citizen in harm's way. He was praying that the man would come up with a better plan, or at least a suggestion. Yeah, we have no reason to believe that these things are violent at all in any way.
If at any point, I'm going to call foul if at any point either of these characters gets on security cameras and watches for the robots moving through the facility.
And why he like really doesn't like this janitor, but it's not very convincing why he doesn't. It's just like, I don't like how he shot a robot, even though it looks like he was totally justified in doing so. Right. I don't like how optimistic he is. I expected him to be hesitant with the plan I proposed, but he wasn't, and that's a bad thing.
Hashtag stand your ground against robots.
Sure.
Mason was handed the key card and inevitably had to give the man the signal. He slowly counted down.
3.
2. 1.
The older man sprinted out the door, much faster than either anticipated.
Oh, wait, so the janitor ran?
Yeah.
Okay. More like... so that paragraph was really confusing.
Yeah.
Yep.
The older man sprinted out the door, much faster than either anticipated. Mason silently cheered as the janitor, Andrew, darted at... Is this gonna... I ship it. Andrew darted at such a speed that gave the impression that he would shatter any automaton that got in his way. He was Reinhardt. That's what... Oh, he's the elderly janitor is Reinhardt. He's going to just pin the automatons.
Is there going to be a
They're
Reinhardt janitor
OR-15s.
skin?
Say what?
Is there going to be a
Andrew,
Reinhardt
Andrew.
janitor skin?
Yes.
Janitor
Yes.
skin, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
to both of
He
you.
has a giant golden
Big ass mop.
mop.
Yes. A mop.
Or like a push broom.
The machines, despite not needing to, okay, Meowth, shifted their bodies in his direction as he passed. The ones that were feigning work immediately stopped, some even dropping boxes and tools. In their apparent distraction, the other sprinted out the door, heading north instead of west. In the past, people actually used to stump themselves with the question of how a robot would decide who to kill in the event of a situation where they were forced to pick. I know I've had that discussion many times. The thought briefly stuck in Mason's mind. The path of least resistance was the obvious answer. Unless there's multiple robots, which there are.
I'm so confused.
That's not really a question. Well, I mean, it is a question, but you would get around that by using the 3 laws of robotics.
Law 1, use the path of least resistance. Law 2, there is no Law 2.
Go for the jugular.
Law 3,
Profit.
yes.
Pity the sex bots. Crack filled the balcony above, followed by the metallic smell of ozone. Huh? Are they on? Are they on
Maybe.
Saturn?
Hmm.
Our ozone doesn't smell metallic. Mason whipped his head back, but only in time to see the fall. Andrew was almost there, so close to safety. Just a few more steps and he would have been safe and secure. Instead, he convulsed on the floor, writhing like a confused worm as his body and mind whiplashed with an electric shock. Mason's eyes quickly darted to the robot on the balcony. The 066 pointed ever so accurately towards Andrew Danny's uninsulated back.
So,
okay.
a crack filled the balcony above is a sound effect of a crack, like a sound effect of the gun being shot.
Yeah.
Crack filled the balcony.
Which is not the sound of, not the onomatopoeia I would use, but okay.
Crack filled the urban cities
God damn it.
in the 1980s.
Citizens
Followed by-
writhed
Destroyed
on
the
the
black
ground.
community because of the FBI.
Citizens writhed on the ground like confused worms.
Don't do dope. Turns you into a writhing, confused worm.
And that's not cool. All right, Abysmoid?
Crack, followed by snap and pop. Saturns could do so many jobs, even basic security.
A second shot cracked out, and Mason didn't bother watching it strike the convulsing old man again. There was no way the automaton... See, now here's my question, criticism-wise. If it's okay to say that the robots are following the path of least resistance and, they're doing what makes the most logical sense, etc. But if they have ranged weapons, I would think that they could, fire on the guy and then turn and fire on the other guy. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Saturn robots destroy old men with facts and logic.
Having organs is pretty awesome. Prove me wrong. Convulsing old man again. There was no way the automatons didn't realize he was there. It was pure speculation before that these things were violent. It was also pure speculation if this plan would even work.
Mason sprinted out of the workroom and into the northern hallway, the pattering of many feet ever so present behind him. The realization of his plan was doomed from the start. Acidic guilt waterlogged his heart, knowing...
I could see that. It's,
okay. It's very unusual,
Yeah.
but it does work.
Acidic guilt waterlogged his heart, knowing he sent an old man to die. That paragraph was pretty clunky.
Yeah.
This is Yeah, it needs proof, and I think it really needs to be a lot longer because there seems to be some logic here, but they're not connecting the dots.
I think it can be this length, but I'll explain how I would achieve that when we're done.
President Obama said that you could keep your healthcare plan, but look now. Death panels filled with organ-having robots. Zapping old men.
Now listen, children are our future.
Yeah.
Well, we got to get the old people out of the way first.
Yep.
So I've commissioned a lot of death robots. Stalk the streets.
Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get these robots and fill them chock full of organs. Have them walk around with gas guns that shock you. I think this teleprompter is broken. Me, big boy. I don't know.
I want to say something right now. If there's no God, then how come robots have organs inside them? Checkmate, atheists.
Well, it depends on the robot.
Is that one of those things where if like you want a robot to have force powers in Star Wars, they have to have like human like flesh implants?
Oh God.
Oh yeah, like special like hunter killer robots. God.
If you give robots human organs, robots can go to heaven, but also they can go to hell.
That's weird. I would have thought that they would I thought it would be like added on to the sins or good deeds of the person whose organ they stole. Like you live a life that's really good, you're an upstanding citizen, and then some robot steals part of your body, kills a bunch of people, and then you go to hell. Oh well.
Well, if you get the organs and the organs are a clean slate, then you know that whatever robot has human organs is a good robot because they wouldn't risk the chance of going to hell.
But you can't go to heaven if your body's incomplete. So you're kind of just in limbo.
Is that some like weird Mormon law?
No, I think that's Catholic, actually.
We'll have to ask Elias about that. But isn't going to hell really the path of least resistance?
Isn't the real hell the friends we made along the way?
Yes.
The real hell is the robots with human organs inside of them. Oh, where are we? Okay. When he had reached the armory, he desperately opened it with the key card and hid behind the heavy reinforced door. It wasn't long before he heard muffled clanging from outside. It wasn't long after... twice in a row. After that, when he realized that security could easily access this room. The mental image of dozens of these creatures feigning machinery pooling outside his door flashed through his head. Ooh, this is truncated.
Creatures feigning machinery, so living creatures pretending to be machines?
Yeah, it's just like there should be a comma splice there, I think. With just one of them walking up, opening the door, and letting the wave flood in.
Now, here's the thing. This is a science fiction story. I mean, It is, horror to a certain extent. It's like Alien, is it horror or is it science fiction, blah, blah, blah. But since this does have the sci-fi element, I mean, it seems to be more action-oriented than like we're used to, of like a horror story where it's like there was a crazy, creepy thing and it was a monster and it was evil and then we all died, This sort of is like an action element to it of we need a plan and we need to get across to the armory and we need to get guns. So, I mean, it is sort of like a different animal from what we usually look at, which is good because Fearfic covers everything.
Well, that's one thing I notice usually is writing action is difficult because you're trying to choreograph people and objects moving in a space to a ludicrous degree in a very short amount of time. So it immediately starts feeling bogged down and drudges on. Whereas if you just see something, then it's much quicker and snappier. Yeah. So I don't know a solution. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who can write action scenes effectively, but it's not an easy task.
The engineer couldn't let himself become a fish in poorly crafted barrel.
That's something weird is that we have the name the engineer, but oh no, it's Mason. Never mind. Whatever. Fuck it.
Mason Engineer was. He's not even really an engineer. It's just his name. The engineer couldn't let himself become a fish in poorly crafted barrel. In this room, there were weapons, the last line of defense against these things. Okay, so it's an armory that's like a failsafe against the robots?
My question, why is there an armory in a waste treatment plant?
Well, he's an engineer, so that means that he has a pistol, he has a shotgun, he has a level 3 sentry, he has a dispenser, And he has a teleporter, so he better just use that teleporter to get out of there.
Yeah.
He should have used that in the first place. I mean,
That's right.
If you like your teleporter, you can keep your teleporter.
God damn it. He scanned the darkened room, quickly locking his eyes on a carbon mesh box that had been carelessly left open. He inched slowly towards it. I would be racing to that thing. On any other day, the thing inside would disgust him. He hated weapons with a passion. In this moment, it was a friend he desperately needed. Say, when you outlaw guns, only Saturns with human organs will have guns.
you take away the guns, only robots will have guns.
Yeah. Only robots will be guns. The O5 repeater was a device that could shatter metal and vaporize soft organs. Perfect. Contained here in the event of a siege. The waste treatment plant dealt with biohazardous things that they hoped no criminal or terrorist organization could get their hands on. This would help him.
Okay. That is something we should have known in the beginning.
Yes. Well, I mean, maybe it's part of a twist it's building up to. I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe it would have ruined it if we knew that sooner. We'd be thinking about it, and then we would come up with it by the end. I don't know.
Well, it would have explained a lot more.
No. I mean, yes.
Well, at this point, we do have a third-person narrator,
Yeah.
and
True.
so they have all of this information. So the presentation of that is kind of what a twist would be. So that's not good. You want to put that at the beginning, regardless if there's a twist off that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He held the weapon in his hands, a pulsing sensation of power filling him with more comfort than anything else could.
He's got the power of God.
I got the power of God.
Yeah.
Pointed it towards the door, waiting for the moment the Saturns finally broke through.
I keep picturing cars just breaking through the door. Just a bunch of Saturns.
Not going to kill them if there aren't any charges loaded, he thought. Realizing that a gun like this would most likely be unloaded when in storage, he scavenged the room looking for the right ammunition. Finally finding the right grade of power pack, he opened the compartment on the side of the gun.
Mason found that it was already loaded, so that was pointless.
What the... Yeah, what? Okay.
In fact, everything was okay, the end. The thrumming he felt from it was so much stronger now, audible even. The gun's beating heart raced, each wet beat reverberating through the metal shell. It's already loaded because it has organs inside of it.
Okay. Clever.
The door clicked open.
So we can assume Mason is dead. Rip Mustard Mason.
So, I like the premise and the concept here.
Right.
Its execution is lacking. And this is just kind of sci-fi is hard to write because especially short story and short form sci-fi, because you essentially have to do a lot of world building very quickly, but very succinctly as not to bog down the reader with what feels like random lore that's not going to be used later on. So I feel like if the beginning of this story was just a little bit more descriptive as to what this waste treatment plant does, who it fights, like what it takes care of, without having to, give away too much about the fact that, the robots have organs in them or anything like that. And then cleaning up the characterization a bit. I think this would be really cool. It's essentially keyhole fiction.
I was going to say that, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of short sci-fi is keyhole fiction, which is one of the reasons I like it. That's. I don't think you'd have to add too much in the way of expanding the word count, but I think you could have something really cool here.
So here's what I would do if I were in the position of rewriting this for an adaptation for Channel Zero. No, I'm going to do my usual thing about what I would do and just preface that by saying it doesn't really matter what I would do, just sort of offering my thoughts on it. I would, as you said, put toward the beginning that this is a, dangerous place to work where people might be breaking in to steal something or, get some kind of waste for a bomb or whatever. Or make it so that the androids and the janitor have weapons because of the pests and vermin around a waste treatment plant. Like, whenever a rat comes out of, some pipe or something, one of the androids just zaps it, zaps it dead. carts it away, that type of thing. So it's sort of like the weapons are being used for an unintended purpose, in killing people or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's just one thing, and I think the story would be a lot better served if the janitor, when they are in the office talking to each other, where they're like, we don't really know if the machines, are listening, and how many of them might be listening. So let's go talk somewhere private. I think it would serve the story a lot better if the janitor is like, you can hate his optimism if he's like, you're worrying about nothing. They haven't shown any aggression or violence. Don't be silly. And the janitor goes walking out, just like there's no problem, and then gets zapped and killed. And then the guy who's left is like, holy shit, and he's got to run to wherever whatever would help him out is because I think part of what got it bogged down for us personally, just speaking personally, is the idea, that point where it was like, we have to come up with a plan.
I didn't mind that they had to come up with a plan. Just the way they suddenly happened upon it.
Right.
I think the story would be better paced if they found the robot, pried it open, saw they had organs, and then Mason goes, okay, that's anomalous. Let's get this on like some type of gurney or something. Let's wheel it out of the plant. We're going to go take this to like a special facility. And on their way out, they're like talking about it. They're doing some more world building. And then as they like kind of go over the logic in their head as to why this is happening, the robots are like acting weird. The robots around them are acting weirder and weirder. And then it slowly turns into a chase and they're running for their lives. And then they get picked off. And he can even like end up in the armory again going, well, shit, this is the safest place. Okay, I got my revolver. Oh, God, my revolver's alive. The virus has spread or something.
Yeah, it's also, it's kind of like that Jim Gaffigan bit of like, it's Christmas. All right. What are we doing? We're celebrating the birth of Jesus. All right. Take those lights, put them outside, take those trees, bring them in here. like there's just this weird logic of like, shit, the robots have organs. They're going to try and kill us. It's like one thing does not follow from the other thing.
Right. Yeah, I think that's...
And I was into the story until it started making these weird logical leaps.
Right. That's
like,
why
there
I
was,
think...
There was clunky bits here and there, but overall, I was still into it.
Right. That's why I think you could have...
I'm talking to interrupt you again.
No, I was interrupting you. So, I mean, it's interrupt inception. I think that, that's why I say you could have one character be paranoid about it and say, these things have organs. Holy shit. What if they're thinking? What if they want to kill us? And you could have the other character say, that's really ridiculous and stupid, like we would, to jump to that conclusion. And then he can be proven completely wrong and made a fool of when he goes outside and they zap him and kill him. So it's like, you could have that kind of thing where it's almost like anticipating or, getting ahead of any critics like us that might say, why would you assume it'll kill you? You could have the character say, why would you assume that? It's just ridiculous. And then, of course, zap,
And this does kind of read like a sci-fi horror action flick. And I like that. This would be fun to watch as part of like a Halloween countdown or something. So I don't mind that it had action at all. I don't mind that it's a little what's the word here? A little kind of silly, but like I don't mean silly. Out there, I guess. That's all fine. I think really just it's lacking in proper execution.
Yep.
But yeah.
So
our Solomon.
Yeah, I mean it's not. That's the thing too. Is like we always feel like we have to kind of make the statement of it's not that it's bad. It's not that it's horrible. It's not that it's written terribly or anything like that. It's just little things here and there that may be something that could detract from or add to your reading experience. Speaking personally.
Yeah. And this is in the critique section, so this is a rough draft, essentially.
Right.
So clean up that formatting for the paragraphs. Definitely proof for typos and unneeded words and words that need to be put in, words that need to be changed out. And
speak it to yourself when you're doing it. That's a good way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I am going to write my critique right here, and I am going to post it There, I posted my... Oh, my session timed out. There we go. I posted my critique. I posted it underneath. There we go. Perfect. All right. What?
I just read it.
What's the matter?
Make the robots have sexy feet that they show when other robots lick the feet.
You don't... Isn't that... Am I not summarizing what we were getting at here?
No, I'm just thinking about sexy Venom again now.
Okay.
Oh well.
This has been the Fear Fiction Podcast. Your hosts are Abysmii, Dead Palette, and Slimebeast. Music by Abysmii. Art by C.F. Comer. Voiceover by Atticus Jackson. Edited by Elias the Intern. Subscribe to Fearfic on YouTube to stay up to date on new episodes.
My fellow Americans, please forgive me if I sound like a bad impression of myself. I've been sick. Sasha and Malia caught some kind of virus at a Juggalo festival. It knocked my ass out. Today we gather here on a most momentous occasion. Finally, the government of the United States of America has come together, worked across party lines, all towards solving a problem that has plagued this country since its very infancy. That's right. We've finally fixed healthcare. This plan, now it involves robots. Lots and lots and lots of robots. Now, I know what you're thinking. Trust me when I say, if you like your soulless automaton, you can keep your soulless automaton. However, for those of us who aren't scared little bitches, there will be a new breed of android. The kind that's full of people parts, organs, hearts, kidneys, lungs, livers, intestines. I don't know what else is inside people, but believe me when I say it'll all be there. And don't worry. Now, you're saying to yourself right now, well, Barack, what if these robots go super crazy loco boingo in their weird computery metal man brains? Well, every man, woman, and child will be issued a government-funded gas gun. But this is no ordinary gas gun. It shoots electrical gas. Now, imagine that. If our founding fathers, all those years ago, knew that we'd be firing electrical gas guns at our living, breathing, meat-stuffed metal whatsits, why, they'd blow their brains out. Just out of sheer confusion. But they didn't. They didn't know, so they didn't do that. The founding fathers, I want to stress, did not kill themselves, which is good, because none of us would have been born. We'd be Marty McFly up in this bitch. Anyway, that's about the shape of things. Robots, organs, gas guns. I know you have a lot of questions. There are a lot of concerns, like, what if our guns grow organs too? Or what if our favorite janitor dies? Or what if Donald Trump somehow miraculously becomes president against all odds? And, well, the answer is simple, and I'm only going to say it once. Now don't ruin this for me.
I'm tired.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, everybody, if you're tired, try sleep. It's better
Try
than staying up
Ambien
past
box.
midnight.
Ambien box.
Ambien box. Hey,
All right.
do you have trouble sleeping? Try a lot of NyQuil.
Quilling like a
Do
villain.
you have trouble sleeping? Me too.
Aw.
And then that's it. He just stares at the camera.
Hey,
Please
do you have
help.
trouble sleeping? Lie on a pile of money.
That you get from impressionable youth.
Yeah. How many
This is
kids?
sober.
How many kids out there do you think that the parents, have to go into the kids' room and say, "What is this box? What did you order?"
Why did you order 5,000 Ambiens in a unlabeled box? Soberdorf just released a video, as I was recording this, about the Metal Gear Solid Game Boy game, and it's really interesting and fun and I love Metal Gear Solid, and I love Soberdorf, and I hate the Game Boy. So it's a good video.
No. No. It doesn't have any screaming or jump cuts. It doesn't try to sell you a box. What is it doing on YouTube?
It's not about FNAF.
It's not about
Fucking
FNAF.
point.
Yeah.
He has a very big beard.
Oh, okay.